Welcome to another episode of the Alpha Wealth and Fitness YouTube channel. My name is Ntsako Akani Swana, aka Big Ntsako Akani Swana, Big Nas in the building. And in today's episode, as usual, we cover very important things. Discipline, hard work, dedication, patience. This message is in particular directed to young men aged 18 to 25. Because this is the period in your life where you're gonna probably make some big mistakes, probably take some big risks. It's a time where you're literally going to define where your life is headed for the next 20 years. Essentially, I feel like whatever you occupy yourself with in the time frame of 18 to 25 lays the foundation of how you view the world, how the world views you, what you do, perhaps even how much money you'll earn, what kind of girlfriend you're gonna get, what kind of wife you're gonna get. This is a very crucial and pivotal phase in your life. And being a 24-year-old man myself, I believe I'm in the right position and I'm qualified to give you the inspiration you need to continue a beautiful, marvelous life on this wonderful day in Johannesburg. Check this out, man. Sheesh, dog. You know what I'm saying? This country is quite beautiful. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's first touch on discipline. I believe all of us know what discipline is, right? But to recap, discipline is essentially doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Discipline is the one thing that perhaps separates those who are successful from those who, to be honest with you, are not successful. Discipline is perhaps the one sign of mental fortitude in an otherwise very lacking in mental fortitude our society is, in particular us as Gen Zs. You know what I mean? A lot of us want the easy way out. A lot of us want a quick fix. A lot of us don't want to be patient. A lot of us, as soon as we fail once, you quit, you throw in the towel. As soon as something doesn't work once, it's almost like the end all. You know what I mean? When I've come to tell you that that's not the case. That doesn't have to be how you live your life. One thing that I find particularly interesting about discipline is when I started to get disciplined about building a decent physique. What I started to see is that discipline in one area of my life, for whatever reason, led to discipline in other areas of my life. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm the best money spender. I'm not saying that I'm the strongest person physically. I'm not saying that I'm the smartest person in class or anything of that nature. But what I will for sure say is just discipline in the gym has most definitely made me more disciplined with myself, more disciplined with what I put in my body, made me more disciplined with how I think, made me more disciplined with my academics, made me more disciplined with my relationships with people, just discipline overall, and something that people perhaps forget to mention when it comes to discipline is just how much control, right? How much control, how much peace, and just how much confidence it instills in your life. Because when you're disciplined, you kind of basically know what you're going to do in the day. When you live a very disciplined lifestyle, you genuinely know what's going to happen next because you're in complete control of your mind. Now, can you control yourself dying? No. Can you control another person or family member of yours dying? No. Can you control whatever happens in the media or what your friend does? No. But you can most definitely control what happens up here. You can control what happens up here, and you can control what these do. By these, I mean your hands, your actions. You can control your actions when you live a disciplined life. A life that's with ill discipline, unfortunately, has too many unknown variables. There's too many things that can happen. There's too many possible possibilities. There's too many just who knows what's gonna go down. I know for a fact that if I wake up in the morning on a Saturday and I go to the Taekwondo dojang and I show respect and I'm on time and I listen to my Seiyun when he tells me to do a side kick like this and I do a side kick like that, and then I leave and scan my QR code, I know for certain that I will leave stronger, and I'll probably leave, actually 100% leave, a better Taekwondo martial artist. If I wake up in the morning and I decide I'm going to be on time for class and I pay attention and I make notes and I ask questions, I know I'm going to be a better student. You know what I mean? If I cut out alcohol, if I cut out clubbing, if I cut out drinking, if I even cut out having a girlfriend, right? All these create a very straight and narrow path to at least what I would deem as success. You understand? I hope you understand what I'm saying. So there's one aspect of discipline which I just mentioned, which is being on time, respectful, hardworking. But then there's also the other aspect of what are you willing to sacrifice and what are you willing to literally cut out in order to achieve success. Because to be honest with you, that's the one thing that a lot of us struggle with in this day and age. You know, the comforts of modern day life, with food being able to deliver to your door, with online dating apps, with just all of the weird content that's online and all of the rage that's on Twitter and all of these kind of things. It's very, very easy actually to just be steered off path of your mission. You know what I mean? So I want to reiterate once more, right? That cutting out bad habits, cutting them off, cutting them loose, making sure bad habits don't exist in your day-to-day life is a sure way to live a more disciplined life. If I was perhaps still going to the club, or if I was perhaps still drinking, or if I was perhaps still up to various activities where the end result wasn't absolutely clear, I'm not really sure where I'd be, to be honest. You know, and not being sure of that is enough to keep me away from a life of ill discipline. Not being sure of, okay, let's say it's midnight and everybody's trying to go out, everybody's trying to party and all these kind of things. Unfortunately, everything becomes unpredictable at that point. In particular, if there's multiple women there, in particular if there's alcohol there, nobody's sober-minded, right? People are vulnerable to doing whatever, and it's just a random ass lifestyle. You know what I mean? So that's perhaps one thing that I would really encourage, is for a lot of us young men in particular to knuckle down and get actually serious. You know what I mean? Not obviously, man, have your jokes, have your smile, have your laughter. I have those too. You know what I mean? But do carry yourself with a certain level of seriousness, man. Do carry yourself with a certain level of, like, when people look at you, they kind of have to, like, at first glance understand that, oh, actually, I'm talking to a man of caliber here. I'm actually talking to a man who's serious. I'm talking to a man who's serious about his goals, serious about his health, serious about his success, serious about his family, serious about God. You know, these should be things that people just feel from your energy. You know, you should walk into a room, and because you live a certain kind of lifestyle, people should feel elevated, or people should feel, whoa, a force has entered the room now, a man has entered the room. You know what I mean? And I mean that in a very positive way. So, to recap, you know, good discipline is a combination of two things. It's an amalgamation of two vital elements. The first one, obviously, being doing things that you need to do despite not feeling like doing them. The second one being cutting out unnecessary bad habits. So if you don't want to go to school, but you go to school. If you don't want to study, but you study. If you don't want to work, but you work. You're a disciplined individual, right? If you wanna, you know what I'm saying, get high, drink, go to the party, and all these kind of things, but you decide not to, then you're living a disciplined life. And once that level of discipline is in your life, man, life becomes so enjoyable. Life becomes so much better. You feel better about yourself. You feel like you're actually doing something. Even if there are things that you can improve on, even if there are things that you don't really feel prepared for, even if there are things that you're like, maybe, at least you're working, at least you're disciplined, at least you understand what there is to work on, at least you understand where you're going. When you wake up in the mirror, when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, you know, bruh, you're like, I know what this man is about, I know what this person's about. Because nothing worse than perhaps feeling a bit lost, feeling a bit jaded. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, thank you very much. If you especially tuned in up until this point of the episode, I'd really greatly appreciate a like, a subscribe, a comment. Share this with a friend who might need it. And I wish y'all the best day ever. I hope that all your dreams come true. I hope that you're able to achieve incredible amounts of success. And I hope that whatever happens, everything is all in your favor. And from the bottom of my heart, I wish you the best health, the best success, the best family, everything. It's been another episode of the Alpha Wealth and Fitness YouTube channel. I'm your host, Big Nas. Peace.